At this moment, Phobio and Esprit were collaborating closely, their combined efforts leading to an increase in their overall strength due to the combined addition of their existence values. However, their joint existence value remained slightly below 1 million, just a bit higher than Peliod's value. Phobio had chosen to abandon his concerns about various issues and had instead embraced an aggressive combat style, forsaking any long-term strategy. This shift naturally shortened the duration of the ongoing battle, but its success was underpinned by Esprit's contribution of magicules. I genuinely detest insect-type opponents. Nullifying pain has no effect when it comes to direct assaults on the mind. My intuition was correct. She persisted longer than I had anticipated, but now I understand the reason. It's not necessary for you to listen to me. As I anticipated, she possesses expertise in magic and appears to have suffered damage from Carrera-sama's magical attacks. I couldn't fathom how she managed to withstand such a potent spell without any consequences. So, if we were to target that vulnerable spot, could we secure a victory? Regrettably, that's not feasible. While her weakness hinders her ability to launch an immediate offensive, her defenses are impregnable. Nevertheless, this also presents an advantage for us. It seems we're left with no choice but to persist until reinforcements arrive, as expected. Though an unfortunate and undesirable resolution, it was the only viable option they could reach. Phobio resigned himself to focusing on Peliod to fulfill his role. And then, approximately 40 minutes had elapsed. We've put in a considerable effort, haven't we? Too fatigued to converse. Can't carry on any longer. I'm genuinely on the brink of collapse. Despite being covered in wounds, Phobio remained alive. Esprit, who shielded his soul and bore the brunt of the injuries, was barely conscious. Since she initially believed she could only hold out for 20 minutes, Esprit found great contentment in the outcome, even though it stemmed from her expending all her resources. On the contrary, Peliod was in good condition. Her movements had improved even beyond their initial state in the battle, indicating her recovery from the damage inflicted by Carrera. Strategically, this marked a notable triumph, though from a tactical standpoint, it was a loss. Nonetheless, this was acceptable because both Phobio and Esprit had played their roles. I'm frustrated, especially now that I have a girlfriend. Oh, really? Is that why you went above and beyond expectations? Well, I'll acknowledge surpassing my predictions, and as a reward, I'll convey your message to her. As they were unable to stand any longer, they were left with nothing but to await their impending fate. Consequently, they engaged in light-hearted conversation. While Phobio wished to relish his cherished memories of Gabiru, whom he had grown fond of, Esprit dissuaded him. You're quite the devil. Indeed, I am a demon, so what's the matter? Exactly. It's rather unfortunate that you fail to grasp my sarcasm. Well, even I would find it troublesome if you showered me with so much praise. I'm not trying to compliment you, all right. Ah, yes. Well, I suppose so. During the course of this intense battle, their camaraderie had developed to the point where they engaged in such playful exchanges. Thus, amidst their fears of impending death and the sting of defeat, they waited restlessly for the moment to unfold. However, a sudden turn of events occurred. Phobio, lying on his side and immobilized, was susceptible to attack at any second. Peliod eagerly anticipated Phobio's cries of demise, oblivious to the fact that he and his comrade were engaged in casual conversation to extend the time. Peliod held no regard for those who had made her struggle, driven solely by her instincts to seek pleasure. Concentrated magicule rays emitted from Peliod's fingertips, but they merely scorched the ground, failing to penetrate Phobio. From Phobio's shadow, a hobgoblin emerged, seizing his leg and tossing him down. Lo, wasn't my timing just perfect? The gleeful voice reverberated across the battlefield. The voice undoubtedly belonged to Gobta. He had rushed to the scene as reinforcement, fully determined to break free from this critical situation. Gobta wasn't the sole arrival, and also his girlfriend Gabiru was there and caught Phobio mid-flight. She securely held him close to her chest and retreated to the rear, shielding him from Peliod's assault. Phobio silently credited himself, though this remained a private sentiment. And at last, Ranga appeared, positioning himself in the forefront to protect Gobta and intimidate Peliod, who aimed to pursue him. Without hesitation, Ranga unleashed an Apocalypse Howling, effectively slowing Peliod's movements. This rescue operation saved both Phobio and the Esprit within him from imminent death. Esprit, having returned to the body she had previously vacated, stood up and uttered, "Wow, Gobta-sama is truly impressive. I had complete faith you would come to rescue me." Esprit's eyes shone brightly, revealing her admiration for Gobta. "Is that so? I'm feeling a little embarrassed. As one of the 4 heavenly kings, please display your admirable side." When this battle concludes, would you be interested in going on a date? Sure, I'm up for that. This exchange didn't signify romantic feelings, making it crucial not to misconstrue the situation. With that, Esprit stepped back from the front lines alongside the others, leaving Gobta with a downcast expression. Consequently, the front's collapse was averted through Phobio and Esprit's concerted efforts. As roles shifted, the battle entered its third round.